Again, everybody, my name is Craig Cobb of TraderCobb.com. Two things. The first thing to talk about is if you're thinking about getting your education in trading and cryptocurrency up and running, well, we've got an end of financial year sale. Go to TraderCobb.com/savings and you can get up to 50% off on your education that may be deductible, this year's tax year. So go across to TraderCobb.com/savings to get access and have a look. Join us. This is This Week in Crypto, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host. I want to talk to you about what's the hot topic right now, and there is one singular topic that I think is the hottest, certainly for myself at the moment, especially when it comes to the price of Bitcoin. What's it doing? Of course, I'm talking about options expiring. Now, you can see here for quite a long period of time, Bitcoin's been doing very, very little. Okay, very little. As a matter of fact, from when we first get into this range, let's say from the 6th of May all the way through to where we are now, call it 5 or 6 weeks, we've just banged around. We've got above 10, we've come back down, but there's certainly got none of the moves have got any legs. We've seen the market go up and then down. We've seen a 4-hour time frame. Check this out, right? Look what goes on throughout this period. The 4 hours is my midterm time frame, which connects me to the lower time frame. Look, lower high, lower low, pull back in. Well, then we get a higher low, higher high. Okay, we got a trend. Then we reverse. And then we get an uptrend. And as soon as we get that uptrend, we reverse back again. Well, not so much reverse, we just break it. So we haven't had any really good cyclicity out there in those midterm timeframes. And that doesn't mean there's not been trading opportunities, because there have been. I've had 2 trades this week, both profitable. Not profitable by very much, I will add, because I didn't follow through. I got a long on Bitcoin and I got a long on Litecoin. Both little bits of profit, but it's not a losing week. What's going on? Why are we so sideways? I did a piece a little while back before the halving, okay? The halving event, that, ladies and gentlemen, the last 2 halvings, we had one that fell down and then went on a massive run, another that consolidated and then went on a massive run. Well, we've got a fair few weeks under our belt now since the halving event, and we've done jack. What does it mean? Are we going to continue to see a market that continues to go sideways like this, or are we going to see bullishness or bearishness? As a trader, I don't mind either way. As somebody who's in the space and wants to see people do well, I'd rather it go up. Let's have a look at some of the things that might be holding Bitcoin back. The options expiry is this Friday. It's going to be 8 a.m. I think that is Central Time. I'll have a look in a minute. But it's coming out this evening for Australians. As this goes out, it will be close to coming through. So we're seeing a really, really big amount of money on the expiration here. Now, the thing is that what does this mean? With these expirations coming up, does it mean I should be worried or not? Well, you can see that what this particular article, we're on mickey.com.au here, data shows Bitcoin moves 20% or more from consolidation. That's not got anything to do with the options. Okay, that's got nothing to do with the expiry of the options. What we know is that when we do see a long period of consolidation, we do tend to see decent moves. The last one that we saw a consolidation through here, decent move. But I can recall the one around 6,000. It's not there, it is, where am I? I've got to get to the top 10. It's more data here on the BitMEX one. Look, through here, we had a long period of consolidation, then a big fall. Now, that fall was actually about 50%, I believe, if I'm correct. There we go, 50% right there. We've had a consolidation, admittedly not as long as a consolidation that we had back there, and a decent move. Have a look at this last consolidation as well. Look, what we saw from that when we moved, well, we saw a 20% move. At the minute, we're going through that period like we saw back here as well. And again, just to sort of back that up, we did see something in the vicinity of, 20% or more. I'll go from the start of that move to, 30, 40%. We do get these moves, okay? What are we going to see this time? I think Bitcoin, to me and to my eye, looks like it's back into an area where we might actually have the potential for further upside. Hear me out. We've had a big move already from that crash that we saw back in the month of March, I believe it was. It has come a long way, but that consolidation has given it a breath, some breathing space. It's allowed it to really catch up a little bit. And look at the resistance in here. We get above that level. Oh my goodness me. We get above that level and we then have support underneath price. I'm really hopeful to see that occur. But what does it mean? Well, after 5 weeks of consolidation, we're likely to see a move either higher or lower. It's anyone's guess for now. Let's tie it back in to the actual options themselves. A lot of options have been written to the bullish side, okay, to the bullish side. A lot more there to the upside than there has been to the downside, and that is backed up by what we see here on Cointelegraph. Now you can go through and read this, of course, and it's all of the detail that's here. Now there has been a lack of liquidity, and you might be thinking, how do you know that without having the volume on your charts? For me, I can tell. I don't know, probably 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I can tell by looking at the chart how, if it's lost volume, if it's lost liquidity. Why? Because you start to see these silly spikes that come in. I want to show you this on the 15 minute. They don't always have to be big spikes. When you see these big random big spikes. Check it out back up here when we started to get really not a lot going on. That's BitMEX. I want to go to this FTX contract. By the way, if you're not using FTX, get an account down below, 10% off your trading fees. It does add up over time, guys. So click on that and you can see how to raise orders in the tab below, in the description below as well. This sort of stuff, look, see that? That to me, that comes in when there's low liquidity, because it's easier to manipulate when there's not as many players in the market. Another spike up here. That's the sort of thing that I see around an illiquid market, and we see that. We saw it up here again. We've seen a few of those sorts of spikes, and that for me, that's when I go, okay, there's not much going on at this moment in time. Now, we haven't seen too much recently, as we did see some good liquidity come in on this candle, but it has not been the same sort of liquidity that we've had when we've had a good bull or bear run. So it's not going to take much to kick this puppy off. There is no doubt about that here. People were talking about the correlation with Bitcoin and the S&P 500. Well, it was just because the S&P 500 fell and Bitcoin fell around the same sort of time. Is there a direct correlation? I don't know. I'm not willing to say at this stage. I'm willing to continue to watch the markets. That's all I do, is I read the charts. Now, correlation does not mean whatever that word is. I'm not very good at correlation does not mean causation. That's what I was getting at before. Now, we've got current open interest here on Bitcoin of 3.8 billion. Check this out down here. This is what's really important, is the types of options, the puts and calls that are being written at the moment. I can take you through all these numbers. You can go through and read all this, but I just want to take you to what I think is important. Look at the CME. It's catching up. The volume here on the CME is this yellow one, okay? It's going quite well. That volume is picking up. It's good to see. The overall trend here, that's really, really good. It means more activity, more people involved, more hedging potentially, which means more funds involved in the market. And hopefully, with the access to these sorts of hedging tools and leverage and margin products, we might just get that next wave coming through. To cut a long story short, I'll bring you down here. This is really what the whole thing is that you want to know. With the options contracts at the moment, there's two outcomes that seem more probable than the bearish outcome. That's right. The bearish outcome doesn't seem as probable. We look likely to either move up higher or to continue to consolidate. It doesn't look like a big correction, but don't forget, this is crypto. Crypto does what crypto wants. Okay, it is up to the market to do what it does, and you've got to find your ways to enter that market and exit that market, and you hopefully want to make profit out of that. Hodling, yeah, sure, you can go ahead and hodl, no dramas at all, but you're going to have to ride through everything, and you're not really learning anything being a hodler. If you want to learn to trade, well, technical analysis is the way I do it. It helps me to find areas and pinpoints where to get in and where to get out for a profit and a loss. I'm not just sitting there with something that's worth absolutely nothing, like so many that invested in ICOs back in 2017. Guys, it's your time. It really is. There's going to be a lot coming into this space. I think you're pretty much aware of that. We've got PayPal that have come in as well. There's a lot of different payment options. I could have covered that this week in the news. I definitely could have, but I wanted to talk to something that I'm more familiar with, the markets trading, the options and the open interest. Guys, we've got our end of financial year sale on www.tradercobb.com/savings, or just go to the homepage, tradercobb.com, and just click on the tab, 50% off our subscriptions, and also some very deep discounts there available for our course. Have a great weekend. I'll speak to you again this time next week. Sorry for last week, guys. I picked up a cold. I spent it in bed. That's why you didn't get This Week in Crypto. Bye for now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.
Cheers.